All right, putting you on the spot. All right, so you guys see we have a red truck and we have a transmission.
Got one fluid change on it and it came out mint. Guess what's wrong with it?
All right, so for context, Josh quit his job. You said it took you 2 years to get your life together.
Yeah.
And you spent 3 months out doing hotshot trucking.
Yes.
Okay.
To ruin all of it.
To ruin every bit of progress that he's ever had
God.
ever. So, a little bit of backstory as well. I went through, fixed everything on this truck. We did not throw a clutch in it. We threw a clutch in it last year.
You do charge me, and it was very expensive.
Yeah, I charged him very well.
Yes.
So I went through, fixed the engine stuff, fixed his rear main, and I warned him when we did the rear main. I said, hey, you should really do a wear sleeve. He didn't have the money at the time, whatever, so we just threw a rear main in it.
Yeah, that explains that. Well, I'm not worried about that.
So, that aside, we have a 97 Ram 3500 that Josh uses for hotshot trucking now. He went out about 3 months ago, and he was doing power only. Now, mind you, I stay very busy with power only. Josh, unfortunately, did not. Now, he strictly had dispatchers. He's not able to look for his own loads.
I was ready. I said, find me stuff, and they found him stuff.
That part I have to cut out. I'm
Oh,
saying, how do I?
Yeah, I guess that's drama.
So I'm allowed to look for my own loads. I can. Josh cannot look for his own loads. He doesn't have a login or any of that stuff. So he's at the mercy of whatever they can find for him.
And they were awful at finding me things.
So Josh sat for quite a bit, and there was loads were kind of scarce and this and that. And
Kinda.
I'm not going to sit here and whatever Josh wants to say on his channel, he can say. I don't have any bad blood with anybody. I'm just saying that Josh had the workload wasn't there. Let's just put it that way.
It
so
wasn't.
now,
I went out for 3 months, and I idled for a month and a week. I'm not even kidding. I was ready to run. My truck was good to go. And what put us to a stop, the work wasn't paying for the truck. Now, I put at a minimum between him and just fixing leaks, what did I, $5 grand, fluid damper, etc.
he spent a lot of money on parts. Now, the engine's been solid. Not a problem with the engine. Everything I did. But you bought a brand new transmission.
Yes.
So he bought a brand new NV5600 with a 1-year warranty. I think it was an unlimited mileage warranty as well. Which
No, I don't say that.
All right. We'll cut that out. We'll cut anything to do out with that. But he had an NV5600. He drove it, and he has a dual disc clutch. He's done 1 fluid change on it. The fluid came out perfect.
Yes.
And one day it just kind of got stuck in gear. I think it got stuck in gear on you, 2-3 times?
I was towing Tiny home. This was, a month and a half ago. I went to take off in first, and I went to go into second, and it just wouldn't come out of first, and it hucked me forward. And I just couldn't shift out of first. It was stuck in gear. And then a month and a half go by, I'm going to get a load in Missouri, and I shut the truck off. Well, one, I couldn't get the truck to start. That's a separate issue, but it was stuck in first. Couldn't get out of first. I got out of first, it got stuck in second, and I jumped the starter off of itself, got it to start.
So it got stuck in gear a couple of times.
Yeah, and then I lost first, second,
So
third,
no,
and
this
fourth.
is now.
This is now.
That
that was the time. Yeah,
that
this
was
is how
it happened before, but then about a week and a half ago, it did it again, and he had to really yank it out of gear because it just wouldn't come out of gear, even with the clutch pushed all the way down. So Josh gets it out of gear, he gets it started, and then completely loses first, second, third, and fourth. You lost all four first gears.
I drove it from Missouri, but if you take 20 minutes, you can find third and fourth. If you find third, you'll find fourth, but that's pretty garbage. It's a 30,000 mile transmission. This is a bit unacceptable. Rebuilt with how much it costs, it's a little unacceptable. I was expecting to lose fifth or sixth with how much power we were making, but it's
So this unit, if we had the shifter to show you, basically anything first and second is just this. You can genuinely move the shifter. Once you find third, you get fourth, but then when you find fifth, you lose all of this again. So he had to basically start out in third to get home. I think, what you drive, 1,000 miles, something like that?
There was 3 fifth gear starts, because I thought it was third gear. You can't really tell. But you can be in 5th or 6th gear, and you can pull the whole shifter out, move it over into another gear, and hear it start grinding while it's in that gear.
Oh, yeah.
It was pretty fucked.
Yeah, so the clutch forks are basically bent in this unit. Now, it was out by like 2 or 3 days, and the guy said that they will warranty it and just rebuild this specific unit. They're not going to give them a new one, but they're going to rebuild this specific unit. And then that leaves the question of what does Josh do with this afterwards? Now, I know you're going to do a clutch. I know we're going to do the rear main with a wear sleeve this time. Like I told you to do the first time. I get it, finances. So we're going to do the wear sleeve this time and put a new clutch in it. I told Josh you got about 6 months left on this clutch. Unfortunately, a couple of fifth gear starts. You probably don't have 3 months left on that clutch anymore.
It'd be interesting to see it.
But for anybody wondering, actually, this truck has a ton of money into it. I mean, I'm not showing them the interior, but so we'll show you guys the engine. This thing does not have any oil leaks except for the rear main. And I don't know if he did the valve covers. I warned him that the valve covers were probably going to leak. So he hasn't done the valve cover gaskets yet, but the valve cover gaskets leak. Those I was told not to replace last time, and the rear main leaks.
We've replaced the valve cover gaskets like 3 times now.
Other than that, though, nothing else leaks on this engine, which it's crazy that this truck makes the power that it does and doesn't leak. So we also went through, did a bunch of stuff, but case in point, this truck has a lot of money into it. I mean, it's got power-driven everything. The Steed Speed manifold. I mean, some of these, like, you can get these things at $1,200 at times. Like, that's how expensive they get. I think you paid $800. But, yeah, ported head, bigger turbo.
Aggressor turbo.
Aggressor 62. Like, it's got a ton of money into it. The pump has been modified to all hell.
5x14.
Granted, that's a lot for Hot Shot. You should have kept it stock for Hot Shot. But he was going to build a race truck and then realized he was going to get into Hot Shot after he'd already spent, what did you say, a firm? A firm was $7,000?
Yeah, let's not put that in there.
Well, no, why not? Case in point, though, you spent $7,000 on parts through a firm, but you paid it off rather quickly.
Paid more than that. But
but that was only one bill.
Like, what's the difference between buying a car and buying some parts? So.
Yeah. So, but case in point, after the transmission, after all the parts and whatnot, you're probably into this about $15,000 in parts between the head, between the transmission, between the clutch, between the swap, and that's not even including labor.
We could probably build this truck for 15 to 20 grand overall. Maybe not with the 5600.
Yeah, you're into this over 30 because you paid 10. Yeah, so he's into this truck over $30,000. Went to run Hot Shot with it, and it took everything. Now, the engine itself has been great.
No, the truck didn't take everything. The job I did not get anywhere near.
Yeah, he wasn't getting the workload that he should have. And then I think the only problems you really had with the engine after we went through everything was you broke the throttle linkage. That's a given. They always break. If you guys don't understand, if you guys don't understand 12 valves, these throttle linkages snap. This one's actually about ready to snap too.
If yours is bent, please replace it because that almost left me stranded.
Mine snapped too.
I had to take vice grips and I held both ends of the metal together until I bought another one when I got home.
Yeah, he's got a new shut-off solenoid on this. I went through and rewired all that nicely. You can see the nice wiring for things.
I didn't fail because of the truck. It's just, well, I have a warranty on the trans. Like, I could go back to this. It's just, this was not paying good. Like, the jobs were good, but I can't go out for 3 months. I was in this truck for a month and a week without work.
Him not having enough work too. If you guys know, when I go out and do Hot Shot, this year, my record week was $10,400. I have a video on it. I ran 2 loads, one out to Nevada and then one from Cali to Texas. I made $10,400 on a single, on a single logbook week.
Now you're making me want to make a video because you're not going to let me put my side of the story in here.
You can.
You're bugging.
You can see. I want you to make your video.
Asshole.
But like my point is, I make in between this year like $5,000 and $7,000 every single week that I go out to run Hot Shot. That's why I do it, because it's fucking good money. But Josh was not getting the workload, and is it the company's fault?
Yes.
Maybe. The company that he's with mainly does freight.
You're at the same company. They gave you loads. They did not give me loads.
No, the thing is, I find most of my loads though. I probably find about 70% of my loads. That's a lot. If you were to add 70% of the loads to your work, do you think you would have made it? If the trans didn't break. If you added 70% more loads
Now,
to what
here's
you
the
had.
thing. We weren't even like getting the bills paid with the workload I was getting.
Yeah, you
I'm
were-
not even kidding.
So then, on top of all that, by the time if he would have had the correct workloads, his truck would have broken 2 months sooner.
I'll give you an example.
When he had the money, but because you didn't have the workload, you had to wait 3 months, and then the truck breaks when you're so far behind.
I zoned
Now you're
out.
fucked.
I wasn't listening, but I'll give you an example. A 1 day load, it was like 480 miles.
Hold on. A 1 day load was 480
It
miles.
was 480 miles. I paid $1,200 for 1 day. I got that done, and I was trying to book a load the same day. Of course, it didn't have anything on Friday, so you sit all weekend.
Yeah.
If you don't book anything by Friday, you sit all weekend because they don't work.
Yeah, and
That's okay. But
and that's the other
there's no
thing.
time to sit when you're living in a truck.
Yeah, and that's the other thing to it. Like, I've had times where, like, I went and dropped that one Texas load, and they called me and they're like, yo, I got one like 50 miles from you. And I'm like, okay, pays another $1,800. So in 2 days, I made $2,100 on that trip.
Impressive days. I'm like, yo, I just dropped this boat, and they're like, there's something 20 minutes from you. That happened 2 to 3 times, and that was very good. Very
Yeah.
happy with that. Other times, they're like, do you want a deadhead 12 hours away? No.
Yeah, and there's a lot of times where it's like, that is necessary, but at the same time, it's like, this is the difference between you being allowed to find your own loads and you having to rely on other people to find your loads.
If I could do this again, I'm not going with the same company. Put that in there.
That's
We'd-
fair.
We'd probably get a flatbed.
See, and that's where it's like, man, if you get a flatbed, it's like, that's where these guys shine. So that's where it's like, that's a double-edged sword
The
there.
only thing where power only really shine, when you're done, you just go to the gym. You live at the gym.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want. That's why I do power only. Because I can drive out to California. Oh, hey, there's nothing right now. You can do whatever you want. Whereas with freight, it's like you're committed to a trailer constantly. You have to protect this
Yes.
trailer. If you want to take off, you're just a pickup truck.
You're living at truck stops, and true, there's that. And it's
So-
like, you could live in a parking lot at like a Planet Fitness and not a truck stop, and it's like there's a McDonald's right there, or there's a Walmart right there. You don't have to bring a
Yeah.
flatbed with you. You don't got to
Yep.
worry about somebody fucking with your trailer.
Yep.
Am I gonna come out of the gym and it's gonna be on a wrecker or some shit? I know that's not a big, not something. that
No, there
happens,
was
but it
some.
could happen.
There was a lot of gyms that I went to that you physically could not get a trailer into. Like, I'm talking, there was places that it's specifically made. They make them tight enough that even a 20-foot trailer wouldn't clear the turns. Crunch is like that sometimes. They don't want semis in
You
there.
got to take that like sideways.
Josh,
Did amazing.
yeah, the truck does all right. I mean, this dude was pulling trailers at like 85, 90 miles an hour at times.
Oh my God, yeah.
And it just does it.
Let's not say 85. Probably.
No, that's
Yeah.
I've seen your life 360. But the workload aside, and then the forks breaking in this 30,000 mile transmission, that's where the truck, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a piece of shit. I hate driving it.
It did
But
way better than I thought it would.
but it was reliable as fuck.
Oh my God, yeah.
Like, if he said, hey, I need a load, like, this thing just didn't break. Other than your throttle cable, that was the only thing that actually physically broke, besides the clutch forks, and he still got home. So, keep that in mind, guys. But yeah, this whole hotshot thing, I try to warn a lot of you guys.
Yeah, fucking the fluid dampers. Make sure you're checking them.
Oh, yeah, that's the other thing. Josh blew a bunch of seals and loosened a bunch of bolts off of his because he had a bad balancer, and he was pushing, what, 3,000, 3,500 RPMs?
Balancer made it so you couldn't read your tack, which makes you lose your alternator, which made me lose
Yeah,
the fridge.
that broke too. Yeah, so he got a fluid damper.
I still made it home from Texas. No batteries at all.
Yeah, and that's the nice thing about a 12-valve. You just zip tie the wire up. So, go over recap. Josh's truck's been awesome for hotshot. For him, he likes the older, rickety, loud. He likes that. I like a little bit smoother. Set your cruise control. AC's on. Music's going. You can hear things. Josh wears headphones while he's driving.
It depends. I like the sound of the truck.
Yeah, when you're going through town, I like the sound of it. When you're going on the highway for 6 hours, nah. But yeah, so between him not having the workload to physically make the money, and then by the time it's like, hey, I don't have any money, then the transmission just says, fuck you. Now, I will say on the NV5600s, they are a really, really, really good transmission if you buy them from the factory, but not many people rebuild these things to the quality that brand new ones get. and they get such a bad name over it. Honestly, I got 547,000 miles out of mine before 6th gear grenaded, and everybody said, "Oh, 6th is going to grenade if you tow in 6th." And
we've seen
Sure.
57 pounds of boost in 6, like 40, 50, 60 plus times, and the fluid came out crystal clear.
yeah, it was good. It's been a reliable truck. It just, unfortunately, things happen. It's a almost 30-year-old truck. I think we're at, what, 27 years old on the truck?
97, yeah.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. A lot of fun, definitely. And not just like when you're sitting 5 to 7 days straight, you get a little pissed off, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that.
And so that's the other point to make. I only sat one time this year for
7
6 days. I was stuck in Utah. On the 6th day, I got a load.
I got stuck in Utah too. It was a really good load to Utah, but I'm like, it made me hate Utah.
I like Utah, but yeah, I got stuck there, but then I just sat down and played RuneScape for a couple of days. I can say that on this channel because this is my personal channel. So
Oh, you're not posting this on the main, huh?
no, I'm gonna post this on the personal channel. But yeah,
If I find a good job, we'll bring this thing back for fun, I guess. I don't know.
yeah, he's gonna go back to work, get a real job for now, and then eventually, once we fix it, then he'll decide what we want to do.
Maybe a year down the line, consider going back. Like, I hate working for people. Like,
Yeah.
just running a truck that's restricted and bullshit. This was completely free.
Yeah, you went from 64 miles an hour limit to, hey, I can do 90 whenever the fuck I
In
want.
economy mode, if you let off the pedal and go in economy mode, throw it in neutral, and it's like...
What's your RPMs at 90?
2,500?
That's insane. So you could genuinely travel 84 miles an hour at like 2,200 RPMs.
35, okay. 140 is 4,000 RPM. So 3,500 was 120.
Yeah, this thing has 354 gearing as well.
We also
So
have 4,200 valve springs.
with a big turbo, it's like your power band is literally above 80 mile an hour.
And it gets really friendly around 78, like the boost, like
Yeah, 78 miles an hour.
Go down. But as the temperatures went down and we got the cooling system figured out, I could start towing at 67 to 70 miles an hour comfortably without issues. Like, it just seemed to be very happy in that higher speed range, I guess. Like, gearing advantage.
So Josh is going to put it back together and just make it a race truck, and then, or he's going to sell it and he's going to go buy one of those.
I think it'd be interesting to get it dynoed and see if I still hate. I don't hate the thing, but like, I'm kind of tired of working on the fucking thing. I've owned this truck 40,000 miles, and we've pulled this trans 5 times.
So the NV4500, the first time you needed a clutch. The second time 5th gear went out. The third time 5th gear went out again, so we swapped it to a 5600. Then the rear main went, so we pulled it again. Fixed the rear main. Oh, we had to inspect the clutch as well.
Times. I don't know.
Yeah, I think this is the 6th time this trans has come out.
We've seen 3 head gaskets. I don't blame the truck for that.
The head gasket was your fault.
We bought it with head studs. I bought a cheap head gasket, and then I did the head bolts.
It blew once
Learning.
when you bought it.
Yes.
Then the second time, you
Cheap head gasket.
one of them was cheap head gasket. Then it was you loosened all of these on a hot engine. You loosened all 6 head studs on this side on a hot engine.
Too, but for some reason,
Blew it, and then after that, it's been great. Josh has seen 60 pounds of head. I did the head gasket, and he's seen 60 pounds of boost. It is O-ringed, and it's been decent. So we've got everything up here figured out. We just need to figure that out. I told him to go with a built 48 RE, but he didn't like that idea. With an anteater.
I think it'd be funny, but like at the same time, I like having control of when I shift.
The 12 valve in an automatic, though, just doesn't make sense. It does not work like a common rail in an auto because you can tune the idle on a common rail. These, it's like once you put it in drive, the idle drops. I just don't like it. So
It might make sense to have like a sequential in these things. Like
I
I was saying, unless you're launching it off the line.
no, full manual valve body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thing.
Yeah, that would be cool.
These are not practical at all to get up to speed. Like normal traffic in a minivan is going to get away from you unless you're like launching it. But once you're in 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, you're moving pretty good.
Yeah, that first and second, that's what I hated about my black truck too. Like I'd pull out in second, but it's like if you wanted to stay with normal traffic, it's like it's just a heavy truck. You're putting wear and tear on things by beating the hell out of it, but it's like it is what it is. You know? They're heavy trucks. They're loud, stinky.
I saw an
heavy
S10
diesels.
take off at like a reasonable pace, and I'm like, that dude's 600 feet ahead of me, and I'm accelerating normally from a light. Like,
Yeah.
they're not practical till you get up there in the gears. It's satisfying on the highway though. It's a very good driving vehicle.
So what do you guys think about Josh's experience? Because Josh's story is one of those of like, hey, someone got into hotshot and it ultimately like fucked them over hard.
There just was not work.
Yeah, and it's one of those like, and well, that's the thing though. Imagine all these new companies coming out and saying, hey, I'm going to start a hotshot business. I get questions every month. Hey, what if I go start my own business?
We had a discussion where just like, you put a second driver out here, it crashes the economy.
Yeah, with power only. You put 2 power only guys in the same company. And
We touched within 500 miles of Texas, and we're like fighting over a single load.
That was funny. And I ended up giving it to you anyway.
No, you took it, you fucker.
Which one did I take?
You took it.
Oh, I'm a bastard. Which one did I take? Yeah, but I gave you that $6,000 load to Nevada.
Wait. Did you?
Yeah, I gave you that big fucking tiny home.
No, that's 5,000.
Yeah, I got him a $5,000 load over there.
And the truck ate it.
The truck did. How do you pull 90 miles an hour with a tiny home? My truck won't even do that.
This thing tows so fucking well, though.
It does. But yeah, that's...
Life 360.
Yeah, I have him on Life 360, so I can see it. But yeah, I am... And keep in mind, guys, it's legal to do 85 miles an hour because he did it all through Texas.
Kilometers.
No, in Texas, it's 85 mile an hour speed limits. You can do 90 legally. But yeah, so hope you guys enjoyed this. Like I said, we're going to start putting some more bullshit content over here. And just some of you guys like it. I'm going to post it. We'll see how it goes. But that's my point. I needed someone as an example. I was hoping it wasn't going to be Josh. But Josh is the example of you can come out here in hotshot and not make what a lot of these guys. And that's where I hate the titles of a lot of these guys. Like these guys, oh, I made this week. I made this week. It's like, I'm only going to do that if I had a really, really good, like, record-breaking week. Like, I mean, I had a $7,800 week this year, but my average weeks were in between 5 and 7 this year. But Josh,
Between, like, 1, 2...
Josh's average weeks were, like, 1 to 2,000 a week.
And then there's that in-between. There's just like, hey, I probably crossed the country, like, 3 times total with really good loads.
Yeah.
Other than that...
But this video is getting long as shit, so we're going to call it here. I'm going to tell Josh to make his own video. If he wants to do that on his channel, that's completely up to him. But, yeah, I let him say as much as I can. I don't want to, like, get any bad blood with anybody, but basically Josh just wasn't given enough work. Let's just put it that way. So I'm going to leave it there. Hope you guys enjoyed, but keep in mind, if Josh isn't getting work with a company that has a 7-year-old MC or whatever, imagine what it's going to be.
Yeah, fucking, there was a load or two. They're just like, that's a 97. We don't like you.
Oh, yeah. He also got turned down a few times.
Yeah,
But it is what it is.
Send a good picture of your truck.
Send good pictures, professional, clean pictures of your trucks to companies because there's not many loads that I've had turned down. But just keep that in mind. Take it seriously or don't do it at all. But yeah, imagine being a new company coming out here and saying, oh, I'm a new company. I should be able to get all this work. And it's like, you're not going to see work for at least 6 months. So have a lot of money sitting in savings.